Okay, Sam, do you want to mute for now?
Okay, sorry, yes.
Thanks. Right. Okay, we're letting everyone in. Admit all. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hi. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. It's glad to be outside for our presentation. It's great to be in the sunshine. It's great to be in the fresh air and to hear, I don't know if you can hear the birds singing, but they are singing around me. And it's great to be drinking water. Thank you for the reminder, Pastor Sam. Okay, I do need to put a little bit of ginger oil in my water, and I'm going to be slurping, well, sipping, not slurping, sipping throughout today's presentation. So thank you once again, everybody. You are free to just say a quick hi.
Hi, Carol. Yeah.
Hi, Carol.
Oh, yeah, you're all right.
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Praise the Lord. Okay, right. So today, welcome to our family health show, True Temperance International Family Health Show. Your hosts are myself, Sharon, and co-host.
Hello, everyone. Charlene.
Okay. So for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, although I think we've got many people who have been part of the family, to be honest, but for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. True Temperance International, we're a ministry, and we love to share the benefits that you can get through health, the benefits that you can get through changing your lifestyle to a more positive one that's going to allow your body to have nature and the food you eat, the things you do, the places you go, everything to help boost your immune system and give you that burst of health that you've been waiting for all these years even. And if you are doing along the correct path, it's to encourage us all to stay on that path. We have little moments where we may make a bad choice, but you know, we can bounce back from that. So don't beat yourself up on that. Every now and then that happens to us all. So today's presentation is going to be a really good one on, as you should be aware from the poster. What's the topic, Shirley?
Exploring allergies.
That's right. And our presenter is Pastor Sam. So a quick hello, Sam. Pastor Sam, sorry. Okay, you're muted.
Good afternoon. Sorry. Delighted to be here with you this afternoon. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, before we go into today's presentation, we're going to share the disclaimer and a few adverts for what's coming up in the future, and a little bit of feedback from last week as well. So I'll invite Edgar, if you can screen share the disclaimer, please. And whilst he's doing that, just remind you, those of you who may have forgotten, we had Brother Floyd Maybury on last week, and he was sharing with us the information about influenza. And one of the things we suggested was to continue going out, looking at the herbs that grow in your environment and see what you can take to benefit you. One of the things we looked at was dandelion, but here we have, no, that's, can we have, okay, we'll talk around this one first then, and then we'll do the disclaimer. Okay, so as you can see, Charlene, if you can talk through the PowerPoint slides for me this week.
Okay, so this week we have Pastor Sam, and the topic is exploring allergies, especially now in this climate. I know quite a few people suffering from hay fever, sinus issues, whether they have any pets or the flowers and so forth. So today we're going to be exploring what allergies are and how we can help with these allergies. This is our platform, our Telegram platform. So we have a women's, a men, and a spiritual health group. This is for those really on YouTube. Welcome, and this is the URL that you would type in to be linked straight to our Telegram group. Please make sure that you have downloaded Telegram, and then type in this URL, and then it will take you straight to our Telegram group. Those who are on Zoom, it will be posted in the chat shortly, where you can just click on it and it will take you straight there. This is our, oh, sorry, Jan, you go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, okay, so for this one, this is our PayPal account. If those of you on here may feel impressed to bless us with a donation, with a contribution, that's the link that you can type in to help us with our ministry. Currently, some of our team are out distributing literature in one of the cities in the UK. We also have some of us that are involved in assisting with our local homeless feeding project. And as you can see, there's other objectives we have. And of course, our Zoom presentation platform as well that we do weekly. So our Zoom show. So whatever you blessed us with will definitely be put to great use. Okay, the next slide, please, Shirley.
So the next one is essential oils. Now, this is an old poster. This is from the first class that we did a few weeks ago. But on a Thursday, every Thursday at 7 UK time, we have an essential oil class. And next week, well, this week we was exploring fitness and using essential oils. And then next week, we're going to kind of tie it in with Pastor Sam's presentation, and it will be on allergies and what oils to be used when it comes to allergies and how to combat it using essential oils as well. So that's every Thursday at 7. The Zoom ID for those, because it's quite small, the Zoom ID to join, and there's no password, it's 82997524481.
Thank you, Shirlene. And so this next poster is about our weekly Bible study. So we have the Zoom class on a Thursday at 7 p.m. and on a Tuesday we have a Bible study at 7 p.m. A different Zoom passcode and meeting ID, as you can see on the screen. So it's worth taking a screenshot. But for those of you that are not on devices that you can do a screenshot, the ID, oh, I can't see it. It's too small for me. It's too small. Let me see if I can zoom in. The ID is 86989358138, and the passcode is 861932, capital N, capital J. Okay, but if you can get a screenshot of that, that would be worth doing if you wish to join the Bible study. Next slide, please, Edgar. Shirley.
Okay, so next week, well, when they come in, it's really sorry, gents, but it's ladies only. So we have a special lady in your life, where it's mom, wife, sisters, daughters, friends, work colleagues. We have a presentation on Monday at 7 p.m. again, UK time, and it's called Beautiful Creation. And this is from our Dr. Louisa. She presented about 2-3 weeks ago, I think it was, on acid reflux. So on Monday, she's going to be talking with, well, we're going to be coming together as ladies, and we're going to talk about from birth to elderly as ladies of the what we go through throughout the different lifespans. So please join us next week. And the Zoom ID is 86701430051.
Thank you. And next week on the Family Health Show, so this is the same time, this time next week, we have a presentation called What's All the Fuss About Detoxing, presented by Louise Reed. You may have seen her on here giving advice, sharing testimonies, sharing her detox program that she, I'm sure she'll be sharing that with us anyway, that she has for people that they can order and join in and learn a lot about detoxing. I'm sure Louise she's a wealth of information. So if you know anybody that you think will benefit, invite them to the session next week. And on the Sunday, because it's going to be a weekend special, isn't it, Charlene?
It sure is.
So on the Sunday, we'll have Barbara O'Neill on the 6th of June, 3 till 5 p.m. That's UK time. She'll be presenting on the what is truth?
Truth.
What is truth? And that's with regards to your health. There will be some aspects of the coronavirus, and tune in. So you'll have a special weekend next week, the Saturday and the Sunday. And then can you speak a little bit about the following week, Charlene? Weekend?
Well, the following week, we have another special for the weekend, the 12th and the 13th of June. And that is again with Barbara O'Neill. And this time we are going to talk about children's health. And we find that this is quite important when it comes to children's health, because if we don't get it right from the beginning, it will help them from the beginning when they reach adulthood, when it comes to health. So we've said, as a team, it'll be good to discuss about children's health. And that is the 12th. Yes, 12th and 13th with Barbara O'Neill.
The times will be slightly different, because I think what we're planning to do is to have 2 sessions on each day with like a 15-minute interval, so you can have a little break, stretch your legs, come off your Zoom, refresh yourselves as you need to, and then come back for the second part. So there'll be part 1 and 2 on the 12th, and part 1 and 2 on the 13th as well. So I suppose you can call it part 1 and 2, then parts 3 and 4. Excuse us about this slide. That was an earlier slide, but we will have an up-to-date one for you next weekend. And our disclaimer for today
is only a physician can diagnose, treat, and prescribe for illness or disease. Any information disclosed or discussed at the TTI, True Temperance International Zoom talk show, are for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your general practitioner regarding any illness or disease you may be suffering from. Thank you very much for joining us. And Sharon, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay then. Right, now what I was going to do, the thought just came to mind, was to just hold up some dandelion. But all I can see around me are things that aren't dandelion. I can see chives, I can see spring onion and yellow roses and other things. But we have been speaking about dandelion, and this week one of the sisters shared a picture of another plant, which she was asking, what's this then? And it turns out that it was milk thistle. I have put on the women's Telegram group the way you can see the difference between the milk thistle, or tell the difference between milk thistle and dandelion. So and there are, but oh, thank you, bless you, husband. My husband just bought me some dandelion. The yellow one would be nice as well, thank you. So this is when it's at the seeding stage, because we see these things all along. I could blow it, but then I'd end up with, well, there's dandelion everywhere anyway. But it's at that time of the year now where it's starting to seed. So this is your dandelion, and the milk thistle looks a little bit like it looks a lot like it, in fact, with the flowers. But there is a difference in the way the head is. So with a dandelion, you have a strand with just one flower. With the milk thistle, you'll have a strand, and then a stalk rather, and then it breaks out into a few, like maybe 3 or 4, several heads of flowers. But in terms of the benefits, Pastor Sam, could you tell us a little bit about the benefits of the milk thistle?
Yeah, so milk thistle is used as a cleanser. It helps you if you've got varicose veins. If you're doing a detox, milk thistle is one of those things that will help to cleanse the liver. So those are just a few of the benefits, Sharon, of the milk thistle.
Thank you so much. And here we go. Edgar just brought me, so he's multitasking because he's also screen sharing as well. He just brought me a dandelion as well. So I can't say my husband's not bought me flowers. He's brought me some flowers today from the back garden. Okay, so there's milk thistle, also known as sow. What's the other name, Shirley? Sow something? I think it's sow thistle, as in the pig, sow. But at this point, I think we're ready to hand over to you, Pastor Sam, for your presentation. So are you ready for us?
I am indeed.
Okay, thank you so much. So sit back, get your pen and paper, or get screenshotting, whatever you need to do. And over to you, Sam.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be here with you today. I am actually in the UK. We've been here for 3 weeks. We had to do our 10 days of quarantining, but you will have noticed that we brought plenty of sunshine in our suitcase for you. That's why you got the sun today. All right. Just delighted to be with you this afternoon, and I trust that God will be with us as we go through. We're talking about exploring allergies. We have already prayed. Did we not pray, Sharon? I believe that we have. So I'll just...
we prayed as a group offline, but not with the audience.
So let's bow our heads as we pray. Father in heaven, we just want to thank you that we can come together this afternoon, and we thank you for the fact that you are a God of health. You have said, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health. And so as we come this afternoon, Father, we do pray that you will be with us, be with me, speak through me to everyone who's here on the platform. And may we be blessed today. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Okay, so we are looking at this subject of exploring allergies. And by definition, an allergy is a hypersensitivity immune response to normally harmless substances such as pollen or food. So we may take in something, and all of us, we have an immune response, and our immune system is there to protect us from invading pathogens, viruses, whatever. And our bodies, the immune response in an allergy or an allergic response, it's hypersensitive and it responds to things that we would just normally eat and enjoy. So allergies are very common. They're thought to affect more than 1 in 4 people in the UK at some point in their lives. So that's a large amount of people, 25% of the population. 40% of the world's population suffers from allergies, and that number is on the increase. So around the world, 40% of us will at some point experience an allergic reaction. So let me share with you 14 top allergens include the following: celery, cereals containing gluten such as barley, oats, wheat. And as I speak, I'm sure that many of us will already know individuals who have allergies to some of these things. Crustaceans such as prawns, crabs and lobsters, eggs, fish, lupin beans, milk, mollusks such as mussels and oysters, mustard, peanuts, sesame seeds, soya beans, tree nuts such as almonds, hazelnuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, pecans, pistachio, and macadamia nuts. sulfur dioxide, and sulfites. So these are just some of the, well, these are your major top allergens in foods, and we will know individuals who suffer from these things. And then 8 foods account for 90% of all food allergies. That's very interesting. So approximately 90% of all allergic reactions occur through one of 8 common foods in the US called the Big 8. These foods are milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts. I've already enumerated those. Fish, crustacean, shellfish, wheat, and soy. So those are the Big 8 that people suffer from in the main. The symptoms of an allergic reaction: sneezing and itching, runny or blocked nose, known as allergic rhinitis. You may have itchy, red, watering eyes, wheezing, chest tightness, shortness of breath, a cough. So these are some of the symptoms: swollen lips, swollen tongue. And if you are a parent and you've got your child going through through some of these symptoms, it can be quite distressing, because number one, you want to know what's going on, and you want to be able to help your child to overcome the particular malady that they're going through. Vomiting or diarrhea. And when a person is vomiting, it's the body is saying this thing has no business being here, I don't want it. And it will either eliminate through the colon, or it's eliminating through the mouth in terms of vomiting. You have stomach pain as another form, another symptom: dry, red and cracked skin. The symptoms.
Sorry,
Yes.
excuse me, Pastor. Are you supposed to be moving the slides on, because we've just got your definition slide on this?
In my slides, I'm seeing my slides are moving this side.
No, they've not been moving at all. We're still on the definition slide.
Oh.
And I'm sure they're great slides.
I'm sorry, Sharon. I don't know what's happening.
If you can stop the share and then try starting it again.
Okay, stop share. Right.
Yeah. So bring up your presentation and then just try sharing it again.
You should have told me this earlier, Sharon.
Well, I was answering a question on the chat, and then.
All right, let's go back up here.
And then when I came back, I realized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the second one?
Well, we can see your screen. It's just not in screen. It's not in PowerPoint mode. But yeah, we can see the screen.
Oh. I've got a new laptop, Sharon, and I don't know if that's part of the problem.
No, we can. If you just go to screen share, what do you call it? To slideshow mode.
Slideshow. Okay, hold on one second.
And then do the disable annotation, and then we should be good to go. Apologies about this, everyone. And for those who are on YouTube, we forgot to give you a special welcome. So welcome to those who have joined us on YouTube and those of us who are here on Zoom. If you do have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat, both on YouTube and on Zoom. And we will endeavour to, these are questions to Pastor Sam about the presentation today. And we'll endeavour to see if we can answer them in a Q&A at the end of today's presentation, formal presentation. Okay.
I seem to be having some issues. To enlarge my screen, Sharon, that's about as big as it will go at the moment.
And is it on? It's not on slideshow yet, is it?
It's not allowing me to do that for some reason. I'm going to stop share again. Sorry, everyone.
Should be on the bottom of the screen.
All right, let me do this now.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay, I'm going to share screen. Do that. Slideshow. Play from start. Okay, can you see that?
We can see exploring allergies.
Right.
We can see the definition. It's
Yeah.
moving on. Yes, we're there. We're there. We're there.
Okay,
Praise the Lord.
excellent, excellent.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. So we talked about the 8 foods that account for 90% of all food allergies, um, and giving you the big 8 there, and then the symptoms of allergic reactions: the sneezing, itching, runny nose, blocked nose, itchy, red, watering eyes, wheezing, chest tightness, shortness of breath, and cough. And I was just saying that, if we have a child or a family member who is experiencing these things, it can be quite distressing, because we don't want to see a family member in distress. Swollen lips, swollen tongue, very, very distressing indeed. Especially for the person who's going through it. And then when we're vomiting or experiencing diarrhea, it's the body saying, this substance has no business here. I don't want it. Even though we're saying this is normal food, this is what the body's reaction to something that we eat normally, and it shouldn't be giving you that kind of response. So dry, red, and cracked skin is another symptom. The symptoms vary depending on what you're allergic to and how you come in contact with it. So it could be that you're allergic through touching a substance. For example, you may have a runny nose if exposed to pollen. You'll develop a rash if you have a skin allergy, or if you feel sick if you eat something that you're allergic to. So these are all abnormal responses to normal things that everybody else will react to normally. So the purpose of the immune system then is to prevent or to limit infection. And when the immune system recognizes a problem, such as an invasion from pathogens, the body activates an immune response. If the immune system cannot adequately deal with the pathogens that arise, then it creates a problem in the body. So when a food protein that the immune system has mistaken as a threat is ingested, the immune system thinks the food is harmful and releases histamine and other chemicals to attack the supposed enemy. So food allergy reactions occur every time that food is eaten, and that can happen very quickly. Common forms of allergic responses: you have allergic asthma, seasonal allergies. I think Sharon alluded to this at the beginning of the program. So right now, there are many individuals who will be suffering from pollen in the form of hay fever. Other people will just have these allergies throughout. So depending on what it is that you're allergic to, for some people, it will be seasonal. Animal allergies. I had a gentleman come to my house on the farm, and he said, I suffer from cat hair, cat whatever. So he can sniff out cats, so he will go into a very bad response if there are cats around. So he cannot take cats. People will have different allergies, maybe for, let's say, dogs or whatever. Drug allergies. One of the things that we get asked when we go to the hospital, if you're going to have a procedure, they will ask you, are you allergic to any medication? Do you know of any medication at all that you may be allergic to? This will help the medical team. And then food allergies, contact allergies. So we're all allergic to stinging nettle, right? But there may be something else that you are allergic to that will produce a kind of negative response. And then the latex gloves that we put on, some people are allergic to that. So you will all be aware of this story. A 15-year-old Natasha Ednan Leperos was on a British Airways flight to Nice in France when she collapsed in front of her family. Despite the use of 2 EpiPens administered by her father, who was a doctor, she was declared dead at a hospital in the French city later the same day. Shortly before boarding the plane, Natasha had eaten an artichoke, olive, and tapenade baguette purchased from the main pret-a-manger shop in Terminal 5 at the West London airport. The bread, as it turned out, contained sesame seeds, which Natasha was allergic to, but were not listed on the list of ingredients. This was really a tragic story, compounded by the fact that her dad was a doctor and he felt absolutely useless in that situation. He tried everything, as you saw there. 2 EpiPens were used and still was not able to save his daughter. So the allergic response is something that needs to be taken very, very seriously indeed. Those who are allergic need to be able to, should be able to flag up their allergy before they eat anything. We had somebody come to do some work on the farm. He was staying over and we used quite a bit of nuts, and he just flagged up the fact that he was allergic to nuts, so we could not give him anything that contained nuts. Okay, so the EpiPen that I just referred to, this medication is used in emergencies to treat very serious allergic reactions to insect stings, bites, food, drugs, or other substances. Epinephrine acts quickly to improve breathing, stimulate the heart, raise a dropping blood pressure, reverse hives, and reduce swelling in the face, lips, and throat. So a very important medication in times of emergency. So what the young lady suffered from, Natasha, was an anaphylactic shock. And in an anaphylaxis, several organs are involved. You'll see there the swelling of the conjunctiva, runny nose, swelling of the lips, tongue or throat. There's the respiratory system, shortness of breath, wheezing, hoarseness, pain with swallowing. There's the gastrointestinal tract is involved, cramping, pain, diarrhea, vomiting. There's pelvic pain. So you see with the anaphylactic shock, there are several organs that are involved. In the United States, there are 8 foods that make up the top allergens and result in 90% of reactions in America. I've already shared that. And then caterers and food businesses are required by law to enable to be able to provide customers with accurate information on the EU's 14 major food allergens if they're included in any of the food products they produce or sell or serve. Now, the young lady that died, I think Pret-a-Manger was saying they were not required by law to list sesame seeds, but that's what triggered the response in the young lady, and she had made sure she had done what she needed to do beforehand in flagging up her allergy, but for some reason they did not know that the baguette contained sesame seed, and it proved fatal in that instance. The EU legislation, EU Food Information Regulation, and Food Information for Consumers Regulation came into force on the 13th of December 2014, impacting all caterers, food retailers, wholesalers, and food service companies. You know, now one of the things that I recognize is that pre-COVID, as Seventh-day Adventists, we are people who invite folk home to come home to our house for lunch all the time. And, you know, as I prepared this presentation, I realized that it's so important that if we're bringing people to our homes for lunch, even though we may not be in the food business, it's always good to find out, do you have any allergies? One of the things that I used to do in ministry, once there was a baptism, doesn't matter how many people were baptized, my thing would be to invite the baptismal candidates to come to my home for a lunch. And if it was a large group, then I would divide up the group over a few weeks until I'd gone through all of them. Now it's so important that one is able to just flag up the thing about allergies. There's nuts in this, or there's almond milk here, or is there anybody here who suffers from an allergy? Just to protect yourself and to protect the individual, and hopefully, God willing, this COVID thing, we're coming to the end of it, and we can get back to normal. We can get back to inviting people to come home for lunch. But this is just something that we need to be mindful of. Okay, so Europe's top 14 allergens: celery, cereals containing gluten, crustaceans, eggs, fish, lupin, milk, mollusks, mustard, nuts. This is tree nuts, peanuts, sesame seeds, soya, sulfur dioxide. So those are the top 14 in Europe. And studies have shown that if you suffer from allergies, there are a 33% chance that your child will develop allergies as well. And if both parents have allergies, then that risk jumps up to 70%. What I would say on this is that families have traditions that perpetuate certain habits and behaviors. So, for example, if you are into eating milk and eggs and cheese and so on, then of course your children will also be eating that, because that's what the family prepares for them, and you may be passing on the allergic response through the diet in that case. So let's just be mindful of that. Because of the foods that we eat, then you will naturally pass on that allergic response. Children are more likely to outgrow their allergies as they grow up and the immune system becomes stronger. Some things children may say to indicate an allergic response. So just be aware that when your child says this to you, it might be more than just the food being too spicy. It could be an allergic response. It feels like something's poking my tongue. My mouth is tingling. My tongue itches. My tongue feels like there is hair on it. My mouth feels funny. There's something stuck in my throat. My lips feel tight. It feels like there are bugs in my ears. My throat feels thick. It feels like a bump is on the back of my tongue. There's a frog in my throat. My tongue feels full or heavy. My belly hurts. So these are just some of the allergic responses that a child may give after eating certain foods. And one of the things that we as parents do, and I have to put my hand up, when my children were young and I'm trying to persuade them to eat a certain food, I'll just be telling them, come on, you've got to eat this, you've got to finish this. But I think that one of the things that we really do need to do is to listen to our children, just in case that there may be an allergic response that they're trying to flag up to us. Now, food intolerance is different to an allergy. Food intolerance is not an allergic response. So although often confused, food allergy and food intolerance are mediated by different biological systems. Intolerances have a wider range of symptoms than allergy. Someone with food intolerance may suffer migraine and unexplained fatigue. They may experience abdominal pain, bloating, and frequent diarrhea, unexplained muscle and joint pains, unexplained nasal congestion and discharge. And in the case of food allergy, the symptoms are more likely to be a swelling of the tissue, example, in the face or throat, a skin rash or hives, asthma, or in extreme cases, a fall in blood pressure. These symptoms are more likely to be immediate in their onset, and it involves the immune system. So food intolerance does not include the immune system. So it's not an immune response that is that causes you to be intolerant to food. There are some people who are lactose intolerant. There are people who are intolerant of wheat, you know. So we just need to recognize that there is a difference. Intolerance is not life-threatening, takes place in the digestive system, and this is an important point. It takes place within the digestive system, in the gut. There's something we as West Indians, we say, it doesn't agree with me, you know. Then there's the inability to, it's the inability to properly break down that food, resulting in stomach cramping, gas, or diarrhea. And it can be also due to enzyme deficiencies. So the body is so finely tuned, the digestive system is so finely tuned that just one enzyme being out of whack will produce a negative response. Okay, so beware of cross-contamination. You know, if you are aware of the fact that there is an allergy within the family, let's talk about the common one, or what we know, peanut allergy, and you're cooking with peanuts or whatever, then you need to make sure that you wash the utensils so that there is no cross-contamination. You wash your hands, just to avoid or to be careful for the person that you're working with. All right, so the other thing that can be done is to test for allergies. So how do you know what you're allergic to? You know, so you're eating a range of foods, but there is something that is upsetting the balance within the system. You can then do testing to find out what it is that you're allergic to. So to determine what substance is triggering an allergic reaction, your blood can be tested against common allergens in the laboratory. The severity of the allergic response is due to a combination of genetic background and the extent of exposure to allergens. Most allergens can be dealt with by managing your lifestyle and through medication and avoidance. In some cases, your reaction to a specific allergen is non-hemoglobin E mediated and may not be confirmed by the test. You know, so you may go for a test and the test comes back negative. That means it's not being picked up. So hemoglobin E is most commonly associated with allergic disease and thought to mediate an exaggerated and or maladaptive immune response to antigens. Once antigen-specific hemoglobin E has been produced, re-exposure of the host to that particular antigen results in the typical immediate hypersensitivity reaction. So every time you eat that food, you will get that particular response, that allergic response. Now, I had a mother talking to me about the fact that her baby had severe eczema, but she was a breastfeeding mother. So how is it that if the baby is being fed by breast milk, that she is experiencing the eczema? So clearly there is something that mother is taking in that is producing that response in the baby, in which case, again, it's good to try and find out just what's going on. A part of the allergen test, apart from the allergen test, is to use the elimination method. So try eliminating the foods that you suspect may be causing the problem. Once you've eliminated that particular food, try it for a month and see if it makes any difference to the child. Why are food allergies increasing? Late use of certain foods. So maybe you've been introduced to a new food later in life, and all of a sudden you discover that this food, it does not agree with your system. There is an allergic response to it. Increased use of antibiotics. One of the things that people don't realize is that when they take in antibiotics, it destroys the microbes in the gut. So your microbiome is really so important to your health. And if you're taking antibiotics for any reason whatsoever, then you should be taking a good probiotic to build back the gut flora. Very, very important. And I've found in the past that when I've been given antibiotics, I didn't realize the damage that the antibiotics was doing to the gut. It is estimated that 90% of your microbes, and there are trillions of microbes in the gut, which is integral to your immune system, and taking a course of antibiotics will destroy 90% of your gut microbes. That is, somebody has said that using antibiotics is like dropping a nuclear bomb in the gut. Okay, so it's very, very important that if you take antibiotics, you are able to replace or build back the gut flora. The other thing I would say about antibiotics is try to find a natural antibiotic. So garlic, for example, you can take garlic pearls or garlic in the form of tablets, antigen that will help you. Allicin you can take, which will help you. And it's a natural antibiotic. It's organic to the body, and it's not going to give that kind of response. So we are saying that when you take a lot of antibiotics and we go to the doctor and very quick to dish out antibiotics, which destroys the gut flora, weakens your immune system, and you will see quite possibly an allergic response to certain things. Increased use of antacids. We need the acid in our body to help us to digest our foods. And with the antacids, it's lowering the amount of acid that you produce, which then gives you another negative response. So we really do need the hydrochloric acid within our bodies to help to digest our foods. And when we take antacids, we are interfering with the digestive process, which creates another lot of problems. So increased use of antibacterial soaps and sanitizers. I think on this platform, you've spoken a lot about this, and we have those who do essential oils, those who do natural products, that we can avoid using these material that have a negative response on the skin. The skin is very porous. Whatever you put on your skin will be absorbed into the bloodstream, and we need to be very, very careful about this. And then birth by cesarean section. When a child is born through the cesarean section and does not come through the birth canal, it does not imbibe the mother's microbes, which is so essential to the immune system. So the gut microbiome is not populated through cesarean birth, and therefore that leaves the child susceptible to all kinds of allergies as they grow. And then differences in our microbiomes. I think I've already spoken about that. You know, the kind of food that you're eating is what will feed your microbiome. Interestingly, developing countries have a far lower incidence of allergies. Now, this is something that we really do need to take note of. Countries, what we would normally call the third world, if you go to Africa, the West Indies, the Caribbean, and so on, because they are eating naturally from the land, there is not this high incidence of allergies. So there is definitely a correlation between eating good food, eating naturally, eating from the land. It's also been shown that people who are living in these countries, once they move to industrialized countries, they then develop these allergic reactions. So when they're in the rural parts in their countries and they're eating from the land, they do not have these allergies. But once they come into industrialized countries, then they do develop these allergies. So this could be due to the amount of food additives that are to be found in our foods in developed countries. And I will come back to that. So until 2023, the food additives industry is expected to continue growing at a rate of 6% each year, with upgraded portfolios, better product quality, and continued innovation within the sector. Food processing providers will continue to look for new additives which entice consumers to make a purchase. Now, this is very, very important, because a lot of the time, the food additives that they're putting in there is really designed to make you come back and buy more. All right. They just want you to, so they're looking to enhance the taste of the food or the product so that the consumer will come back. And it's a multi-billion industry. The food additive industry is one of the most mature global industries that is still currently active. These products are added to foods for a variety of purposes. Some enhance the flavor of the food, others change its appearance, and some even change the texture. The food additive industry is a multi-billion-dollar concern globally, okay? And so there's a lot of additives that are being put into our foods. And this is the reason why on this platform, you would have heard repeatedly, avoid processed foods, because processed foods are the foods that contain the preservatives. They have the various additives in them. And it's no wonder that you see people having all these allergic responses. When I was growing up as a child, we didn't know what allergies were. We didn't hear of allergies, so it's in recent times, with the increase in the amount of additives that's being put into our foods, that we're hearing people talk about allergic responses. We are eating so much chemicals and preservatives in our foods that Dr. Don Colbert reports that bodies are taking much longer to decompose as a result. That's an amazing statement from Colbert. But he says our bodies are being well preserved through the foods that we are eating. Natural remedies for dealing with allergies. So first thing I would suggest, and this was my journey. 5 years ago, I was suffering with hay fever, and I really didn't go to get a detox to deal with my allergies or anything else that was going on. Just felt that it was something we needed to do. My wife and I periodically would do this, and we went to the health center. We had a detox where we did the colon cleanse, the kidney cleanse, the liver cleanse, the blood cleanse. The Bible reminds us that the life of the animal is in the blood. So when you are cleaning up the body through the detox protocol, you will find that you're able to deal with a lot of allergies. And that's exactly what happened to me. I came back to the UK and discovered that my hay fever was gone. At one time, the hay fever was so bad I could hardly breathe. I came into the country from South Africa during this time when I was pastoring in South Africa, came back into the UK, and I honestly couldn't wait to get on that plane. Couldn't get on the plane quick enough to go back because ironically, in South Africa, I did not have the same pollen challenges as I did in the UK. So when you clean up the system, the blood cleanse, the body says that the life of the animal is in the blood. When you clean the liver, for example, has over 500 functions that it performs within the body, and eliminating toxins is one of those. And when you clean up the liver, you find that the liver is then better able to get rid of those toxic substances that comes in. And then I would also say the lifestyle change: eliminate processed foods, drink more water, stop eating and drinking during your meals because this compromises the digestive process. Follow the 8 laws of health. And I would say to you, in terms of that lifestyle change, start looking at eating your foods more naturally, the fruits and the vegetables that God has given to us. These are the foods that you really should be eating to stay healthy. The nuts, the grains, these are the foods, really, beloved, that you should be eating in order to try and stay healthy and avoid some of the challenges that other people are experiencing. So I'm going to stop there now, Sharon, and return back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Sam. That's been a very informative presentation. Sorry. And sorry, I'm getting a bit of an echo. Right, and there's been a couple of questions in the chat. We're still happy to take any others. So one of the first things wasn't so much of a question, but it was more of an observation, I suppose, a comment. And this was an individual who said that the peanut allergy was a revelation to them because it was a common snack that they would have as a child growing up. And it's amazing how many people actually do have nut allergies, and that could be in collaboration with other things. So it could be if they had dairy, then that could promote the nut allergy. If they cut dairy out, then because the thing is with allergies, as you said, sometimes people grow out of them, and it could be combinations of food that encourages the allergic reaction. But I do have a question for you. Sorry, I just realized my camera's not on. All you've seen is this mango. Do forgive me. I do have a question for you, so I'll change the location now. You said that one of the things you can find, ways you can find out about, and I thought it was quite interesting about allergies, is when children say things to you, and quite often you just brush it off and you say, oh, just get on with it. But can you explain why a child might say, it feels like there are bugs in my ears? What kind of allergic reaction would that be? And what would that be to?
Yeah, so our bodies react differently to different things, Sharon. So the same response that I may get from eating certain foods is not the response that you may get. So and I guess the point I'm making is make sure we listen to our children, because the child may be saying to you, Mummy, it feels like there's something in my ear. You don't know what that feels like, but I think that really is an indication if they flagged up more than once, it's time to go to the doctors, you know, just to find out what is happening there, because I know that I was one of those parents where, you know, the afters is married to the broccoli, you know, and so on, and maybe we're not listening so well. And I think that we really do need to just listen to our children if they're telling you something, rather than forcing them to eat something. Let's just find out what's going on.
Thank you. So are you saying that the feeling of something crawling in their ears is more like their explanation for what could be inflammation?
It could be an explanation for an allergic response.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It could be an allergic response that's going on that you don't know about, and they're trying to tell you something. And, you know, with our kids, they're not very good at explaining, but it's really good to go through, have the hemoglobin test, find out what's going on, if there is an allergic reaction.
Okay, thank you very much. One of the listeners said, you mentioned something about Alison. I'm not sure how you.
So Allicin is a natural antibiotic. It's just the concentration of garlic that you can take. If you go onto Amazon, you'll be able to take that. It's a strong antibiotic.
So the question was, how long can you take Allicin for?
Well, I've been taking it now for over a week, and I will continue until my problem goes away. So, you know, yeah.
Okay, so if there are any questions that anyone would like, please raise your hand. You'll be able to unmute, and we can take your questions. Do you see anything in the chat, Charlene? That's
someone was asking regarding warm lemon water before they eat. Would that be helpful on the detoxing part? Would taking warm lemon water in the morning before I eat be helpful?
Absolutely. And, you know, we do recommend that when you get up in the morning, you take a glass of warm water with lemon. This will help to cleanse the system. If you're going to do it before a meal, make sure it's half an hour before your meal, so as not to compromise the digestive process.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Sam. There is another one. Someone has said that they've heard that there are healing herbs for illness. Is this true, and what are they? I know that'll be a long list of herbs that is good for illness.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a strong advocate of the text that says the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nation, and there's a plethora of herbs out there that we just need to investigate. We need to find out. God has really blessed us with so much.
Indeed, definitely, He has. There is one. Oh, sorry, Cheryl, you go.
I was going to say there's two. I've got one that's not related to the presentation, but it's quite an interesting question. And then I've got one from YouTube. Okay. So the one that's not quite related to the presentation, which will make you chuckle. What are the pastor's plant pots wrapped? Sorry, why are the pastor's plant pots wrapped in tinfoil? I love to learn new things all the time.
I'm at my mum's house, so I'm just an intruder. I can't answer that question.
Okay.
To do
and
heat.
the what? Sorry?
It's to do with heat, preserving the heat in the plant to get it to grow quicker or better.
Ooh, nice one, nice one. Could be reflecting the heat. Okay, and the one on YouTube.
With my mum.
Sorry?
This is the carer who lives here with my mum. She's the one who does that.
Okay. And the one on YouTube, Edgar, what was that about microbial?
It's on YouTube, it's in the question.
Oh, it's in the chat.
Use on micronutrients taken intravenously.
So what are your views on micronutrients that could be taken intravenously?
No, I don't. I don't really know anything about that in terms of taking things intravenously. But what I did say is that we need to look at how we feed the gut microbes, which is very, very important. The gut microbiota is so important to our health and well-being. And a lot of people don't realize that when they take antibiotics, you go to the doctor or the hospital and they give you antibiotics, you're destroying those gut microbes up to 90%. That leaves you then vulnerable to all kinds of diseases. And so that needs to be replaced. And you will replace that through taking a good probiotic.
Thank you. Okay, Charlene, over to you.
Okay, so there's one that's how long, you just touched on it now, Pastor, but how long should you take probiotics for after you've taken antibiotics?
Sure. So, if you find a good probiotic that may have 20 million microbes per tablet, at the moment, I'm doing that myself. You can take it quite safely. If you got 3 million, 5 million, you can take that on a daily basis just to build the microbes, and you can do that for a month. It's not a problem. But I think that what people don't realize is that we need to feed those gut microbes, and with the best way to do it is through the foods that you're eating. So sauerkraut, miso, fruits and veg, and so on, cabbage. These foods are the good foods to eat to feed your gut microbiota. But I do recommend a good probiotic.
Thank you, Pastor. Sharon, there is a hand up from Rosemary, and I think there's one more that I see a question, herbs that can be used for cleaning the blood. And then we can take Rosemary's hand after. So Pastor Sam, it's just what I can see is herbs that can be used for cleaning the blood. What herbs can we use?
Well, golden seal is the one that springs to mind. Very, very good. Echinacea is another one. So those are two that can be used to help purifying the blood.
Thank you. Rosemary, we'll take your hand, please.
Okay. So speaking of the pharmaceutical companies, I've been hearing a lot of them that they are against the use of herbs and stuff. And what the medicines do is that they only make people worse, some of them. So for lactic acids, what herbs can we use to help it as well?
I'm not really a herbalist. There are individuals on this platform who are better qualified to answer that question, but you cannot be looking to the pharmaceutical companies to be proponents of herbal remedies, because that's not what they're into. They make their money through drugs, and one of the reasons why we espouse herbal remedies and natural remedies is because it's organic to the body. So when you are taking herbal medication, when you're taking natural remedies, there is no side effect. When you are taking drug medication, there will always be a side effect because it's not organic to the body. And while it may be helping you in one area, it will be doing damage in another.
Okay.
Thank you, Pastor Sam, and thank you, Rosemary, for your question. I think there was I'm not sure that was the only hand, but there is regarding is it Kefir? Keifer? Is it good to take it?
Yes, that's another form of probiotic that can be done. Yes, for sure.
Okay. And then someone has a question regarding, you know, in terms of fermented foods and to be eaten, not to be eaten. Apparently there's controversy regarding that. So they have a question mark regarding what they said. So I think they're trying to ask the question whether we should or shouldn't.
I think you should. It all depends. I mean, for example, I have now switched to eating sourdough bread, which goes through the process of fermentation, but that's good for the gut, good for your microbes. Sauerkraut, miso, these are all fermented foods, and they are recommended to help the gut microbes.
Thank you. And then there's a hand up from Redme, note 9. We'll take your hand, please.
Yes, I just want to find out how long you would have to be taking these microbes to really put back the good bacteria in your bowels, in your belly, you know. So how long would you have to before you start getting back the benefit, especially if you was on a dose of antibiotic and it has done the damage that you have explained?
Right. Yes. So you can be taking that on a daily basis, you know, without really doing the damage. If you're taking something between, say, 5 million and 10 million, you can do that on a daily basis. You might want to stop after a month. It's not going to harm you. It's only going to help you in terms of replacing those gut microbes. Remember that there are trillions. We're talking about trillions of microbes in the gut that helps your gut flora. And the other thing I would suggest is that apart from the probiotics that you would be using, you would also want to be looking at the kind of foods that you're eating. So you're eating good foods, that will also help to build back those microbes.
Question. My concern with the sourdough, sauerkraut, is that it can be a bit salty, and you know, what about people who might be have high blood pressure? You know, they have to be careful with that, or so, or it might lead up to that because of how salty the sauerkraut is.
So there are other things out there that you can be doing. So you know, I mentioned sourdough bread, I mentioned miso. So you just have to look around, make sure you shop around and find things that if you're hypertensive, then maybe you want to avoid the sauerkraut because of the high levels.
It's not that I am, but you know, I just questioning that because I know that people could have high hypertension, and then they go ahead and have the sauerkraut, and it create that problem. But what about the yogurt that they have in the supermarket? Do you think those are helpful in putting back the good?
Yeah, the yogurts you can have if you're, I mean, obviously we are vegans, so there are a lot of vegan yogurts out there, and they go through a similar process. So yogurt is another good food for helping with the gut microbiota, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, both the question and the response. I've got 4 things to ask you now, or 4 things. One is how to spell allicin.
Allicin.
Allicin, allicin, okay.
Yeah.
One person has said that they felt that there was a controversy regarding eating fermented food. What do you have to say on that issue, Pastor Sam?
I'm not aware of that. You know, what we talk about is for things that create fermentation in the stomach. So if you, for example, you are eating your fruits and your vegetables at the same time, that creates fermentation in the stomach, which is different to eating, say, sauerkraut or miso or other fermented yogurt that's going to help you with your gut microbes. 2 different things.
Thank you. you mentioned something about cleaning the blood.
Yes.
Sorry, again, it's my camera. You mentioned something about cleaning the blood, and a suggestion, a really good suggestion, was in the chat, which was red clover. Now, I went on a walk earlier on today, and I noticed that the red clover is appearing in nature, in the parks. So one challenge for everybody could be, we'll have to identify it with a photo. So if you're on, this is an opportunity to promote the Telegram groups as well. And the Telegram group. So we have one for the men, one for the women, and then we have the spiritual health group. You can place a photo, or you can do a search yourself for what red clover looks like, if you don't know, and then see if you can identify it in nature. And that, when you take the red clover flower, you dry it, and you can make a tea from it, and that is very good as a blood cleanser. Yeah. So, but make sure you wash it as well, because obviously you don't want to collect it from where dogs have been, that's right, or any other animals have been urinating. Yeah.
Could I also say, just in terms of purifying the blood, I mean, we eliminate toxins through the skin. And so if you're in a position where you can go and get a sauna at this time as the gyms are opening up, I would highly recommend going into the sauna and just eliminating those toxins through the skin, and make sure, you know, after 15 minutes under the sauna, you go under the cold water for 30 seconds, get those white blood cells. Stop making that face, Sharon. You know? You go under the cold water for 30 seconds, and that will get those white blood cells racing around the body, and you know, it's just great. Do that 3 times. It does take a lot of energy out of you, but I do highly recommend it in terms of one of those things that will help to purify the body, purify the blood, and detox the body.
Okay, and that is something that I although I made the face, it's something that I actually practice with the contrast showers. So in the mornings, I say, right, this is to help boost my immune system. Don't worry about many other things that are out there. This will work. Absolutely. And I have my warm shower and switch it on for 30 seconds with the cold. And yes, I do tend to go, oh, scream. Okay, hubby says I scream. but it is good. And I've actually, when I've been to the spa treatments, you know, when we have these ladies pamper sessions, what we used to do in church anyway, before COVID, they have the ice room as well. And yeah, the ice really gets.
So if you were at the lifestyle center, they would be putting ice on you, you know, so don't worry about the cold water. It'd be ice that they'd be putting on you. So come on, man up.
Whatever. Okay. And the other thing, somebody was saying that garlic, they tried to take some garlic, but that tends to make them vomit. And they were asking, why would garlic make them vomit? I know if I've had it sometimes, it does make me heave a little bit if it's raw garlic.
Yeah. Look, the truth is that the garlic, if you try to take the raw garlic by itself, it can be quite caustic, you know, and that's why I'm recommending the allicin, because you get it then in the concentrated form. It's palatable as the capsules, and you know, I'm taking them at the moment, and I found that to try some, it was recommended that I should be taking a head of garlic every day. Now that's a whole head of garlic, and I just couldn't even come close. So I'm finding that with the allicin, you know, it's quite easy to do. So that's my recommendation.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Charlene, have you seen anything else in the chat?
Cara has her hand up, but I haven't seen anything else in the chat. I was just trying to answer some, but Carol does have her hand up, but I think that would be it.
We do have another question on YouTube as well, but yeah, we'll take Carol's hand.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, no, hi. It was just something that in regards to, there was a question that someone asked where Pastor was addressing in regards to probiotic, and being dairy, you have non-dairy probiotic, which is the coconut one, which is like you have coconut kefir as well, just to add to that as well, which kind of like it's okay if you've got high blood pressure. So yeah, I just thought I'd add to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Carol, because
No problem.
you would always look for, if you are vegan, then, you know, in terms of buying, always look for the vegan option for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, there is, sorry, camera. Okay, there is something that's not directly related to the presentation, but perhaps you may have a suggestion, Sam. The question is, what can be taken for the menopause? Is that anything related to? It's not really related, is it?
I can just tell you, my wife was taking the evening primrose oil. I know that was something that worked for her, but as you can imagine, I'm not an expert in that field.
Why not?
Well, red clover, Sharon, is good.
Red clover, and somebody mentioned maca.
Yes, maca is really good.
So I hope that helps. Red clover, maca, evening primrose oil. There's several options out there that can assist with the menopause. And I'm trying to think if any off the top of my head. I know there are others, but it's just looking at the hormones as well, hormone balancing.
Exercise is very good as well.
Pardon?
Exercise is very good as well for the menopause. Exercise and yeah, plenty of rest, and exercise is very good.
Okay, there's a lot coming through now. Wild yam, black cohosh, magnesium. Thank you, people. So we can help each other. It's a family, yeah? We're learning together.
But this will be a point, Sharon, to invite them on for the Monday class when we go through beautiful creation for our ladies' evening.
That's right. We could even bring that PowerPoint slide back up again. But let's just see if there's an, okay, here's another question for you, Pastor Sam. Why do people take vitamin K? I know that's something to do with clotting, isn't it?
That's right. For clotting of the blood, vitamin K is good for blood clotting.
Sorry, it was something that I'm sorry to jump in again. It was something I was supposed to say in the beginning along with the probiotic. In regards to the cleanser, I'm not sure if, well, you probably heard of the Cerci tea that our parents used to give us once a month, have it at night. That's a good blood purifier as well. You know, you could get them in the 100% tea bag form, you know, and it tastes exactly how when my mum used to do the bush years ago and give us once a month. Yeah, I just want to mention that.
And I think that's important, Carol, to say just once a month, you know, because I had a friend who went home to Jamaica and just went wild on the Cerci tea, and it really did him a lot of damage, you know. So it really, you need to be careful with the Cerci to make sure that you're not taking too much of it. So it seems like once a month is good advice.
Thank you. Okay, someone.
Sharon, sorry, go ahead, Sharon.
No, I was going to, again, it's more comments that are coming up in the chat. An individual said that soya has phytoestrogen, and that can also be helpful. And also maca, I believe that was you, Carol, taken as a tincture is very potent and works very fast. Okay. The question next coming through is, which vitamins do you need to take together? Oh, and there's more for menopause. Agnus castus, but it takes longer to work. So there's lots of menopause experts on this platform. So thank you so much, everyone. All right, so back to the question, which vitamins do you need to take together?
Sharon, I'm not one that recommends people be taking vitamins. You know, God has given us all the vitamins that we need in the foods that we eat. What you need to be doing is to be eating foods with a variety of colors, and you will find that all the vitamins that you need in those, all the vitamins and nutrients, minerals that you need are to be found in the variety of foods that you are eating. And so, you know, people can fool themselves into eating badly and then taking vitamins thinking that this is going to be okay. It's not okay. Get all the, you know, sometimes, let me just say this, that taking vitamins by themselves can be carcinogenic, because you need to find, isolating the vitamin from the food itself can be problematic. So we would espouse that people take the vitamins from their foods primarily.
So there you go. Here's a demo of a colourful food. This is what I was munching my way through as you was presenting. So in here we have tomato. These are cherry tomatoes, red peppers, lettuce, cucumber, yellow peppers as well, orange carrots, and olives. And we know about olives, don't we, Pastor Sam?
Do indeed.
So there you go. Allow your food to be like a rainbow, and that can help with your vitamins. Edgar's going to share the power of the slide with regards to this Sunday, because there's been quite a lot of interest in menopause today. So just reminding you that this Monday coming at 7 p.m, we have Beautiful Creation. This is taking you from the cradle to the grave, the processes that we go through as women, from childhood through adolescent, teenage years, becoming a woman, the middle age, what we go through with regards to our hormones, and the change in pace of life, the sleep that we need, that we require until we get elderly and retired. And some may even get an extra boost of energy as they once they've passed the menopause. So it's how to eat and exercise in a way that's going to help us with healthy transitions through these stages. So come and join in. And the ID and password, so there's no password for this, as we mentioned earlier. So the ID is 867014. Sorry, something's popped on my screen. 0143. So I'll start again because I've messed it up. 867-0143-0051. So that's this Monday coming, bank holiday for those in the UK. It's 7 p.m. UK time. Join us, and Dr. Louisa will be presenting, and we will share together and learn together. Okay, I think we may have had all the questions. Shirley, can you say any more for Pastor Sam?
I see Rosemary's hand up. Rosemary's hand is up, and then there is, you mentioned Agnes Casters, didn't you? Yes. So I don't think there's any other questions, no. There's no other question, just Rosemary's hand.
Okay, what we could do is just, for those that joined us later, we could just go through the promotions for the, after we take Rosemary's questions, the promotion for the upcoming programs.
Okay.
Okay, so Rosemary, you can unmute, please.
Yeah. Just wondering, do you know even after lockdown restrictions are eased, would this continue on to Zoom, as I find this interesting?
That's a very good question, Rosemary. Thank you for asking. And it's one that we have considered as True Temperance International, and it kind of depends on the demand and our availability. So it may well be that even if it's not weekly, I think it's something that we would continue anyway, because the everybody has concerns, health concerns. So it may be live, it may continue live. I'm not sure yet. We have to decide this as a group, but we do have programs lined up for the rest of June and some in July, and we'll assess as we go along. So thank you very much for your question, Rosemary. I really appreciate that. And we will address it to the council, definitely. But as if people require the presentations, and there's plenty of people that we can get to share these messages with you, and the Zoom is here, whilst it's here, we're happy to continue.
Yeah, Sharon, I want to encourage folks. I mean, in terms of the challenge for the weeks ahead is to try and see if you can get yourself a detox. You know, as I said, overcoming my hay fever, which I'd suffered for most of my life, probably the 30 years of my ministry, I was a hay fever sufferer until I went and had my detox. And I did not go to do the detox expecting to overcome the hay fever. That was simply a byproduct. Also overcame my sleep apnea. And I didn't go there to get a result from the sleep apnea. It was just a detox, and what a blessing it was, you know. So I would highly recommend that folk looking at getting a detox. You know, when we were growing up as children, our parents used to give us the washout, okay, and we did not know what a blessing it was that they were doing to us. We just hated it. So we stopped it. But the washout was really very, very good. And so we need to just go and get ourselves you know, this is the posh name. Go and get yourself a detox, love.
That's so funny. Okay, right. So, and that ties in really well with our presentation for next week, because as Edgar will be sharing on the screen share, next week, Louise Reed, who is, I think she's on here at the moment, she's on the platform. Louise Reed will be presenting What's All the Fuss About a Detox? Oh, come on, have I said it right? Why all the fuss about a detox? Well, Sam has answered part of that, but we're going to have a full presentation on why all the fuss about, let's see if I've said it correctly now. No, I haven't. What's all the fuss about detoxing? Okay, so Louise will share with us some next week different things that we can do. And Louise, are you on now? Can you just...
Hi, Sharon.
Thank you. Hi there.
Yeah, we're gonna at the moment, there seems to be a massive thing about should we detox, should we not detox? Does the body actually need us to help it detox? And I think over the last 2 years of detoxing, doing detox program and seeing the results, we're just going to look at why it's important to detox, and we're going to look at as well that although the body is naturally made to do this for itself, because remember the Bible says we are wonderfully made. God made us that way so that our bodies do it, but because of course we have interfered with our systems in such horrendous ways in terms of how we live, eat, drink, whatever it is. Unfortunately, we do need to assist the system at times, and we're going to be looking at why detoxing in a very gentle way, of course, can help to alleviate anything from high blood pressure to type 1, type 2, type 1 diabetes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Louise. So we look forward to hearing from you next week. And hopefully some people would have tried the challenge of locating where they can get a detox and actually doing it if you're able to. If not, I'm sure Louise is going to help you with that anyway next week. So come prepared to make notes next week. Somebody did ask, Sam, what is a washout? Okay. It was mentioned earlier, sericity. Carol, you said that earlier, but maybe you can go into a bit more detail.
Yeah.
What was it that the parents made you go through that you resented so much?
Okay. as we were growing up as kids, my dad would give us the washout, and the washout was simply a colon, what we call today a colon cleanse, you know. So we would be given Cenopods tea, and that would really just cleanse the system. But he didn't explain the science, you know, we didn't understand the science behind it. So we just thought they were being wicked, right? So as soon as we could, we just stopped doing that thing. But it's the day I'm realizing that what my dad was doing for us, and no doubt it was passed on down the generations. This was really a very good thing to do, because getting that colon cleanse, sometimes, you know, I've had people tell me that they're going to toilet every other day or whatever, which is not healthy. And so you really do need to get that colon cleanse for sure.
So did you remember?
Excuse me a minute, they have my hand up and I don't know if you noticed. But I just want to ask one more question. You have a challenge up for the detox, yes? But Pastor Sam actually mentioned 4 organs, I think. He mentioned, so which one are we actually gonna concentrate on? Yes, the challenge to detox what, the blood, or are we gonna do all 4? I know we can't. I'm concentrating on.
So what I'm saying, I think if you find somebody who's doing the detox program, then we will be looking at a range of organs in terms of the detox. So it's not just the colon that will be being cleansed, but you know, you're doing the blood cleanse, you're doing the liver cleanse. So there are individuals who will take you through that detox protocol.
Thank you. And what I was going to ask you, is, as much, seeing as you learned that there's lots of benefits to the washout, is this something that you subjected your children to?
No,
and your grandchildren?
They'd already left home, Sharon.
Okay.
In fact, no, to be honest, my son Andrew, he was very happy to do that. You know, when he would say, "Dad, can you take me through the program?" So most certainly, he was the one I was able to do that with him. Yeah.
Okay, there's 2 hands, and then I think these will be the last 2 questions. We have, in order of hands, we have Huawei Y 2018. They have a hand if we've not taken that yet. And the other one is Carol. So Huawei Y 2018, that's the name of your device. I'm sure that's not the name, your birth name. And then Carol. Huawei. Okay, maybe you didn't realize you put your hand up. Okay, so how do we spell the T for the washout? Sarah, CT.
Right. This is one of CERASSIE. That's the Dalgety, which is from the Caribbean. They're very good, 100% natural. And it's what my parents used to give me in the leaves, but this is actually the Zac in a tea bag, which is, I found it was the same. It was the first time I kind of bought it for ages. And yeah, I had it yesterday, last night, as the parent usually do give you in the night. And then by the morning, they'll tell you, quick, get up, go use the toilet. Because, you know, it's meant to be a blood purifier. Do you know what I mean? Especially as children, it has more potent effect. As an adult, you don't necessarily get up and run like that, like a child. And also why I had my hand up in regards to when Pastor Sam was talking about taking a good vitamin, in the chat, they have saying about, because someone said, but our food is often times impoverished and sometimes one still needs to take vitamin. Isn't food lacking in nutrition because of the deletion in the soil? In regards to the chat, so what I was going to suggest, I more call it a supplement. So you can get whole food supplements, which is as good well, much better than some of the vitamins, and it's just getting a good quality supplement, we call it, which a lot is out there. And I'm sure, I think on one of these programs, if someone's on other health programs, there's people that actually sell these whole food vitamins, supplements, I should say, which is actually where they've condensed the veg and the fruits in like a little sort of those sort of container little thing where you could just pop it, rather than the actual vitamins where it may not have effect. So it's just a natural way of dealing with getting your vitamins, but it's called more supplements more than vitamins, because vitamins don't necessarily work that well. But when it's whole food supplements, it's very good. Just to add, yeah.
Okay, thank you. The spelling of Cersei, I mean, I just did it off the top of my head, but somebody's corrected me. Thank you very much. It's in the chat. And if you can just type that one in as well, just me, Carol, then that will probably reinforce what's already in there. I do remember having there being a certain aroma when Mum used to boil something, and I'd wake up in the morning and think, oh no. Okay, I recognize that smell. Okay, because not only is it potent to the body, it's also potent to the olfactory bulb. You know, you can smell that thing. So you know that time is coming. So not only do we encourage and promote water on the outside to cleanse the body and body brushing and all of that, we also promote cleansing on the inside as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for your input, for your comments. I'm being told that there's a question on YouTube, or a comment. I use Constitution bitters. We all take it.
You're on mute, Sharon.
Is anybody familiar with Constitution bitters? Does that name? No, I've not heard of that one, but somebody on YouTube has mentioned that one. So thank you very much for that. Is it Jen?
Jen.
Yeah.
Janice.
Janice.
And Jen.
Jen, yes. Thank you very much. Oops. Right. So, it's the same as bitter melon. Thank you. Right. So, Charlene, can you see anything else that we need to cover?
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's supposed to be similar to the syringe.
Someone was speaking, but then you got muted. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, I didn't manage to hear it. But no, nothing from me, Sharon, on this side.
Thank you. Sorry, I keep muting myself now. Okay, so once again, we thank you all of you for joining us today on True Temperance International. Thank you very much, Pastor Sam. You are most welcome on here anytime. So we will remain in, well, we're friends anyway, so we will continue to be in touch. And I hope that you've learned something for tuning in. If it's your first time, if it's not your first time, either way, we hope that you've learned something from here, and we've got plenty in store for you, whether it's Monday coming up, next week, Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, or the Sunday afternoon from 3 till 5 with Barbara O'Neill. Edgar, would you like to just throw the slide share back on the screen for us so that we can just quickly go through the promotion, and we can have final words from Pastor Sams.
Before you do that, can I quickly just say something, please? And it's to Pastor Sam. Now, Sam, I've known you for years, and you must be doing something right, because you're looking younger than before. You're aging back to front.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Yeah, the Lord is good.
Yeah, I just thought I had to get that in, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay, so the promotion for the next couple of weeks. As you did see, we do have detox invite. Oh, sorry, my camera again. As you did see, we do have detoxing coming up, and then we have Barbara O'Neill, who will be presenting on what is truth. That's next week, Sunday afternoon. And then the following weekend, which is the 12th and the 13th of June, we'll be doing another week. So we've got 2 weekend specials on the trot, actually, because it's normally just Saturdays. But the following weekend, which is the 12th and the 13th, we will be sharing a presentation with Barbara O'Neill on children's health. So Edgar's just if you can, there we go. So okay, just start from the beginning then. Very good place to start. Okay, so we have okay, we'll talk on this one soon as it's on. Essential oils. This is our Thursday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. We have a class on essential oils. Last week we covered exercise. This week we will be continuing from today with the essential oils that can help you with allergies. Okay, let's see what's coming up next on the screen. This is on Tuesday afternoons, True Temperance International. We do a Bible study, and so that's coming this Tuesday at 7 p.m. and quick fly through. This is Monday coming up, which we've spoke about, the women's session at 7 p.m. Seems to be 7, the number, 7 p.m. on Monday. We have the ladies only session, so look forward to seeing the sisters on there. That's going to be a great presentation from what we can do to enhance our transition from stage to stage, from babyhood all the way through to aging as women. That's next week, detoxing. And that's just to remind us that Barbara O'Neill will be presenting on the 6th of June and the 12th and the 13th. So I think that's everything covered. Hopefully those of you, if you would like to join the Telegram groups, there should have been something posted in the chat. If not, just hold on and it will appear, the link to the Telegram groups. And whilst that's being done, I will hand back over to Pastor Sam if you have any closing remarks you'd like to share with our viewers.
It's been a pleasure to be on. Thank you, Sharon. And I just want to encourage everyone to embrace the health message in these difficult times that we're living in. The recommendations that I made at the end in terms of pursuing the natural health regimen will also boost your immune system in these very difficult times. So that's the recommendation I'm making. And also, you know, the challenge of doing a detox protocol. If you want to go through to an establishment, you've got Manor House, you've got Louise from Mercy's Door, and you've got myself. We're all doing these detox protocols, and very happy to lead you through that process. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Sam. And if he did put his contact details at the beginning of his presentation, so if it's possible, if you can put that in the chat, because there may be others that would like to speak to you privately. So it's obviously we're not doing consultations live on YouTube and on Zoom. So if there's anybody that would like to contact Pastor Sam, his details will be there and made available in the chat. I know there was somebody that asked for Brother Mayman Wilson's contact details. We can, I think, if it's Centurion Ministries, if you would like to do a search, thank you, Pastor Sam, the contact for you is there. If you would be able to do a search for Centurion Ministries, I think it's Centurion Bible School of Health, or it's ginkgo. I need some ginkgo. Okay. But if you search Centurion Ministries, you will see the contact details on there. If you would like to contact True Temperance International directly via the Telegram groups, you can do that, and we will be able to make that more available for you directly. So if there are no further comments, I would like to tell you all thank you very much for joining us. I will close with a prayer. Sorry, my husband's he's whispering messages to me as I'm on here, and I'm really struggling to. So, what was you? Can you just say it in?
It's Eugene Marriott is asking, is contrast baths and sauna suitable for if you have hypertension?
Right, someone's asking, are contrast baths and saunas suitable if you have hypertension? Are you?
They would not be the first things that you would go to. There are other things you need to be looking at. Reducing your salt intake, reducing your weight, good exercise. But the contrast bath and the sauna will not hurt in that regard. But there are other things that you would need to do. And not least of all, remember Lucille's drink that helps to reduce, you know, that was the beetroot and the I can't remember all the ingredients.
Beetroot, garlic, tomato, and celery.
Exactly, you know, so
With,
look
yeah,
at those things to be reducing the blood pressure. Those are natural ways of reducing the blood pressure.
and if you're not sure, you can always go onto YouTube, because we have these presentations recorded. They're there on YouTube for you to look at in your convenience. So if you just do a search for True Temperance International and then type in hypertension, then that presentation will pop up on your screen. So I'd like to, before I say goodbye, a quick word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for the messages that you have shared with us on here. Thank you for the beautiful presentation. Thank you for the knowledge, because we know that you are the source of all knowledge. And may we take what we have heard and put into practice what we have learned. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
God bless you all. And goodbye to those that are following on YouTube. Lovely to have you with us on here. And those of you that are on Zoom, again, goodbye to you. Unless now is a time, if you, well, once the live button disappears, you can feel free